Guys, good afternoon. It's Tuesday. It is 2 p.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I was not planning on doing a video today, but I've been reading more and more. I've been reading all I can on this situation with the allegations that Moscow put a bounty, gave the bounty to the Taliban for the death to kill servicemen. I've been reading up that there was an incident in, I believe it was February or March, where 3 servicemen were killed by a car bomb. There's a good chance that this was a result of the Taliban being paid bounty by Russian intelligence officers. I'm so furious at this point. I didn't talk about this for probably the last week since I first heard about it on Bo the Fifth Column. I heard the story there, and I've been reading stories about it since. The thing was, I wanted to wait because this story is so freaking serious that I sometimes I have a hard time, after all this bull, I still have a hard time believing that Trump could do something this reprehensible, this just complete lack, just unable to do the job, unwilling and unable to do the job of president. And I wanted to see more. I wanted to read, before I talked about this, I wanted to read more. I wanted to know that this story was true because it's so inflammatory, so damning. I wanted to make sure that this was a true story. And it appears it is. It appears it is. I wanted to wait until the White House and Donald Trump responded to the allegations. Because once they respond to the allegations, then you know the story is true. Their response is, Donald Trump's response was that these allegations weren't credible. And there's a good possibility that Donald Trump just could not be bothered to read his daily intelligence briefings. Could not be bothered. I've been reading these articles that he was so unprepared to talk with his intelligence officers, the intelligence agents, through all the agencies, that he was never prepared. That he would rather watch Fox cable news shows than read his daily intelligence briefings on what's going on in the world, what America needs to know about, security issues, that he could not be bothered to read this. Putting all of our servicemen, all of our Army, Navy, all of our servicemen at risk because he does not know what's going on. He would rather watch his ratings like it's a goddamn TV show. The fact that he responded, the fact that the White House has responded to these allegations now, means they're true. They are true. So either he is so inept and unprepared to do his job that he doesn't remember, or they didn't bother to read them, which is probably the most likely scenario. That he got these reports, these were in his daily briefings, which he just did not bother to read. The President of the United States, daily briefings on what's going on around the world, our interests, our Army, our Navy, our Marines, what's going on with our people around the world. And he can't be bothered to read them. Seriously. I don't even know what to say about this. He treats this job, all he cares about is his ratings and his reelection. It's all about him. Trump supporters, again, I ask you, how do you respond to this stuff? Are you going to call it fake news? Are you going to go along with his assessment? Are you going to parrot, as usual, parrot whatever he says, that these reports weren't credible? What about these 3 servicemen blown up by a car bomb? What if it turns out that was part of this? Then there's this whole relationship. I was just reading about, there was 6 phone calls between Putin and Trump between, I believe it was the end of March and June 1st. 6, which is an unusually high number. Or it's not known what they talked about, but it obviously was not. It had nothing to do with these allegations. So Trump didn't know about them or he didn't bring them up, the fact that if he actually knew about the possible Russia possibly putting a bounty on our serviceman's head, and when he talked to Putin, he didn't even bother to mention it. I'm disgusted. I don't even know what to say about this. This man is not fit to be president. If the Republicans and Democrats in the Senate and Congress don't act on this, and this is just beyond impeachment, he needs to be removed. And Trump supporters, if you just keep supporting this, how can you possibly complain about people paying respect to our servicemen like Colin Kaepernick? You guys are seriously going to sit there and cry and whine because Kaepernick takes a knee, but your own president turns a blind eye to these same servicemen being blown up? Are you that far gone? I'll talk more about this as I learn more. I'm particularly interested in these 6 phone calls between Trump and Putin between May and June 1st. I'll be talking more about this story. All right, you guys have a good Tuesday.